Well, let's get going. I want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us this morning. We have with us John Brewer, who is going to be our instructor for the Ninja installation, and we are most happy to have that on our calendar and have it planned for March 7th through 10th. We're really looking forward to it. Ninja is not a one and done type program. It is a part of how you run your business, how we run our business. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what you got to say today, John, as well as the sessions that we have scheduled for the 7th through the 10th. I will say up front that we are well in tune to the whole COVID situation. We're watching it carefully. You know, we are, that period of time in early March is about 7 to 8 weeks out. And I am hopeful that by then we are on the downslope, significantly on the downslope of where we are today with COVID. But having said that, it's something that we are going to continue to watch and stay tuned to, and figure out if it impacts us at all. But that is a decision we need to make today. Usually you can tell us more about your program.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. I appreciate you being here today. And I look forward to spending about an hour with you and walking you through some things really as we look to kind of gear up for our March Ninja installation. My name, of course, is John Brewer. And on the screen here, you can see a little bit about myself. I will draw attention to a couple of things. One, my cell phone number. If we wrap up today or anything that any questions you may have between now and our March installation, feel free to reach out to me, text, give me a call, whatever, anything I can do to help you. Certainly want to be able to do that and answer any questions you may have, or feel free to pop me an email, john@ninjaselling.com. I have my chat box up, and yes, Diane, I live in Charleston, South Carolina. And I know that many of you have probably visited our wonderful city, as I've been to yours. I actually lived for a couple of years. You may have heard me earlier out in the Garner-Fuquay area, a little subdivision called Waverly Point. And so I lived a few years there. But I am at Carolina One Real Estate here in Charleston. I've been with this company since 2002, started in sales, moved into some management side, and now I organize and run all of our training programs and agent development programs and leadership development programs for our company. In addition to that, I get the privilege to travel and speak and share the Ninja philosophy, and I look forward to being with you all and having a chance to do that as well. My background is education. So I moved to Charleston in 1991, my wife and I, fresh out of college. And I was a school teacher, and I spent 12 years in the school field as a junior high and high school teacher, and then became an elementary principal. And from there, moved into real estate. And frankly, I'm still doing what I did when I first came to Charleston. I teach and get to help people move from the life they think they have to live to the life that they dream about living. So that's enough about me. Let's kind of jump into our kind of a little bit of a conversation about Ninja and give you some things to consider as to whether or not attending a 4-day Ninja installation would be of benefit to you. Also throughout today, I hope to give you some things that you can start putting into practice right now as you begin to accelerate into what I think is going to be a fabulous spring market. So I want to give you some things to be a help to you, as well as make you aware of what we're going to do in our Ninja installation. The chat box is open. I have it on my screen. So if you happen to have a question or something, feel free to type the question in or just put your name in. I will pause throughout and take questions, anything like that that can be a help to you. I'm here to serve you today. So feel free to take advantage of the chat box. By now, we're all seasoned vets at chat box interaction, right? So here we go. I want to introduce you, first of all, to Larry Kendall. Larry Kendall is the author of the Ninja Selling System. You see here a copy of the Ninja Selling book. That will be something that you will receive as part of your materials. And so Larry, many years ago, started the process of really looking at real estate professionals and identifying what were some of the key characteristics that were helping them become very successful. And over the years, he kind of codified that, put it into what we call the Ninja Selling System, and of course wrote a book about that, created a course about it. And so this just kind of gives you a little bit of an introduction to who he is. One of the things I often tell people is that Ninja Selling, the home base, if you will, is in a real estate company called The Group Inc., all the way out in Fort Collins, Colorado. And the reason this is important is Ninja Selling is not just some kind of sales training program that we hope will be of benefit to you. It actually originates, organized in, and rolls out of what we call a Ninja Laboratory. And the Ninja Laboratory is really The Group Inc. And that's multiplied over the years now as we serve 80,000 ninjas, not just in our nation, but really in other countries as well. And we've created this, if I can say it, a laboratory that's able to test these principles to ensure that they actually do work. And the reason that's important to you is when you attend a 4-day Ninja installation, you're not going to hear things that we hope work. You're going to hear things we know do work. And so that's really important. I've been through sales classes and they're not really relevant to today's time. Somebody says, well, how is Ninja relative to the crazy market we're in? Well, we have parts in the program that we've switched and changed and made better in order to address the market that we're in. And so there's tried and true principles, and then there are things that are relative to where we are. So it goes through a laboratory, everything's tested. It's not just a theory. But we're going to learn skills that actually make a difference in your business. So Ninja has gained a lot of traction in the years in which we've been in business. And part of our goal in the Ninja installation, there's about 4 or 5 different things I want you to see here, but I want to start with this idea of building a smart business. And when we talk about building a smart business, there are 3 components that come into play. Number one, it's a business that's sustainable. And what we mean by sustainable is that it just keeps going. It's able to operate kind of on its own with oversight from you. And if the market shifts, the business keeps going. It's just something that is sustainable and it lives on. Number 2, and this is maybe these next 2 points may be real significant to some of you, but our focus is on a high percentage of net income. Notice that I didn't say just income, but really one of the things that we focus on in our 4 days together is the idea of how do we be more effective, more efficient in what we do so that our net income, what we keep in our pocket, actually grows. And with that comes this idea of an income per hour. And so we'll spend a lot of time kind of focusing on how do we increase our income per hour. It's not, for some of you, your cup runneth over. You can't put more business in the cup. You're already are feeling like you're, and I'll show you a slide in a moment, like a gerbil on a wheel. And so can we help you identify some systems and put some structures into place that allow you to do, say, more business or even equal business with 20% less effort and 20% less time? So how do we increase our income per hour? And Ninja Selling it's not just about increasing income and net income, but it's also about effectiveness. Now, what I will tell you is that only 6% of our industry walks the path that we're going to teach you. In fact, you know this, there's so many things in our industry that try to distract us and pull us off of the path that is the foundation of Ninja Selling. And I'll talk a little more about what that path is in a moment. But the point here is there's not a lot of competition because 94% of the people that are in the space that we're in are not as focused as you will be, and folks maybe as you are, on building a great real estate business. So that gives you a little bit of kind of an idea of where we're headed in our 4-day Ninja installation. Let me make 4 promises that will happen if you're able to join us in March for those 4 days. The first promise is this. We will give you a lot of takeaways. In fact, by the time we're done with our first session, you will already have identified some things, you've written them down, that you can begin to put into practice immediately. So for our folks on the call that are more like a D in the DISC profile, this ought to resonate with you, because there will be takeaways. There'll be things that you can go put into practice right out of the gate. Now, there's probably a large group of you on the call, and I can see some of your faces and maybe light up here. Not only will we give you a lot of takeaways, but guys, we're going to have a lot of fun together, okay? If you're thinking it's 4 days of your backside in a chair, that would be really depressing. So that's not what we'll do. We will have a lot of interaction with one another. Yes, we will learn. That's part of what we're doing, but we will learn also by doing, by implementing. And so we will have a lot of interaction. We have some games that we'll play that reinforce the principles. We've got some great videos. We'll have good food and snacks, and it'll just be good to be in a room of folks and learning from one another. So it'll be fun. And I promise you about close to about 40 to 50% of our class time is you interacting, and me, I take the other half to teach. So it's not 4 days of John droning on and you having to endure. That'd be painful for me too. So we'll have a lot of fun together, and that's important. Number 3, I want you to note it's a very safe environment. So I promise you this, I'm not going to call you out, ask you to come to the front and demonstrate your listing consultation for everybody. I'm not going to say, we're going to make some phone calls right now. I need 3 people to come to the front. Let's make some cold calls, and I'm going to evaluate that. It's a safe environment. So I'll ask for some volunteers, and we will do some practice. But this is not a high pressure type place. Okay. We only teach teachable skills. And so everything that you're going to learn are things that you can implement. It's a very safe environment. The 4th promise I'll make for a few of you is your favorite question since the day you were born is why. And when you could first begin to talk, some of you may have children that do this. Why? So I will give you some of the science behind the system. There's an awful lot of psychology in the Ninja Selling System. And so I will show you why do we do this in this particular way. So this slide just kind of gives you an idea of kind of my commitment to you is to make it beneficial with some takeaways, keep it high energy for some fun, making sure that you feel safe and not under any kind of pressure to do something you don't want to do. And finally, giving you some reasons behind the system. So these are promises that we'll deliver in the 4 days. Now, real quick, let me show you about 3 slides, and I'll move through these quickly. But I think it's important for some of you on the call, you're what we would call you're in the top producer world. You've been doing this a while, maybe you're operating at a really high level. There are others that you're looking to elevate your business, and they're just going to help you with that. But I want to talk real quickly to those of you that are operating at a high level. And what we say is that there's a difference between a top producer and a Ninja Selling top producer. And part of that difference really is in how they're running their business. Both of them are making good money, but not necessarily are both of them having a high income per hour, a high net income, and actually having a life. And so part of what Ninja wants to do is to help you in that arena of running that business more effectively. Years ago, there was a 10-year study done of over 12,000 top producing real estate agents, all making over $250,000 a year. And what they discovered in this long study with Fusion Growth Partners and Inman News, what they discovered in the study is that 75% of these folks were out of the business or earning less. And so I often ask the question, why is it that these folks got out of the business? And if you're fast on your chat box, you can probably type in the answer, or I saw some of you mouth it. But we know that there's a tendency in this business that if we're not careful, we'll experience what we refer to as burnout. And I believe that the market that we've been in for really almost over a year now, it's a racehorse market. Some of you, I tell you what, you probably have written double-digit offers with a buyer trying to win a multiple offer situation. That stuff will wear on you, okay? Listing a house and having to field 15, 20 offers, that'll wear on you. And so this business has a way of kind of really, I say it this way, sucking the life out of us, kind of takes the fun out of it. So much of what we want to do in Ninja is help you not be the gerbil on the wheel. And if you're right now feeling like you're the gerbil on the wheel, the Ninja installation may be for you. It might be something that I think you would find as beneficial. Why is that? Because our goal is to help you increase your income per hour so you can have a life. And so much of what we do in this 4-day period is not just about how do I have a better business, John, not how do I increase my revenue, but how do I have a better life? In fact, from the Ninja world, our emphasis, our mission is to help you build a better business. And also, if not more important, how to build a better life. And you're going to find that it'll be 4 days that will bleed over into your life, into the life of your family, of your friends. And there's principles in here that will really help you not just improve your business and increase your business, but improve your life. And so many of the notes and texts and calls that I get as I interact with people is, John, this really helped my business. But as I look back over the last year or two, man, my life is so much better. So if you're looking for some things to help you in that arena, consider a Ninja installation. Then for our personal goal, we're really out to change the sales industry. Now, what is Ninja Selling system? What is a system? And we know that Ninja Selling, it's a user-friendly system. Okay, who's it user-friendly for? 2 groups of people. The user, which would be you, the real estate professional, and the recipient, your buyers, your sellers, your customers, your clients. Now, what makes this a system, and I think this is important for you to understand, is that there are 4 components. And if these components were not present, then we wouldn't have a system. And so the first component is we can hand it to someone. It's a system if it's documented, it's written down, it has processes, you can follow after it. And so in the 4-day Ninja installation, we're going to give you a system. We hand it to you. Now, if you have a system and you follow the system and the system actually works, and if it doesn't work, it's not a system, then we know that it creates predictable results. And one of the things that I know just based on experience, the Ninja Selling system works if you work the system. And you'll discover that as you put the components into play, the benefits begin to show up. But if we did not create predictable results, it would almost be malpractice to come teach a 4-day class for you guys. So we're teaching you what we know works as you work the system. And I love this. It works regardless of personality. Oh my goodness. So many people think that to be successful in sales, you have to have a certain type of personality. And that's so not true. It's just so not true. Well, John, I'm not a real extrovert. Great. The system will work for you. John, I am a real extrovert and I love people. Great. The system will work for you. It doesn't matter. I'm real analytical. Super. The system works for you. It doesn't matter your personality because we teach teachable skills. I'm guessing that you guys on the call, some of you have been around a while. You probably have been to some sales training classes where you might have said something like this: I will turn my license in before I do what that instructor is telling me. And I've been in those. I'm like, there's no way. I remember I first got into real estate, broker in charge said, I have all the leads you need, John. You don't have to worry about leads. And I said, oh man, this is great. I show up day one and he gives me what they probably don't make anymore, a phone book. He gave me a phone book and said, what do I do? He said, start with A. And so, we teach skills that everybody can do. So you don't have to have this chase them philosophy. I promise you, if you're introverted, this system will work for you. If you're extroverted, the system will work too. So it works regardless of personality and it works regardless of the market. If you're in the high-end luxury market, the system works. If you're in a commercial market, the system works. If you're in Cary or Fuquay, the system works. The system works regardless of the market. Seller's market, the system works. Buyer's market, system works. John, I sell land, system works. The system works And these 4 things come into play. And so we liken this a lot to baking cookies, chocolate chip cookies. If you follow the recipe, the cookies turn out. And so we have a phrase we use called TSW, the system works if you work the system. Now, a couple of things that you need to grasp. When you have a system, you become what we call an on-purpose realtor. When you don't have a system, you become an on-accident, or you are an on-accident realtor. Now, if you look at this picture, there is a common theme between the A and B at the top and the A and the B in the bottom, right? And that theme is both groups go from A to B. It's just that the top group gets there with higher income per hour. They get there with intentionality and purpose. And then the bottom group, they get there. It just takes a long time with a lot of dips and curves and mountains and potholes and so forth. So when we have a system, what the system allows us to do is to be more effective with our business. By the way, side note, if you stumble into business, quote, accidentally, please don't look at the folks and go, I'm sorry, I only do business intentionally. And I don't know you, so I can't help you. Now, obviously, don't do that, right? We take accidental business. If you're walking around Lowe's this weekend with a name badge on and somebody says you're a realtor and they need to buy a house, help them. Okay, we'll take that. That's all good. So ideally, we want to be on purpose. Let me show you an illustration of this. Corey Whitaker. Corey Whitaker, 9-year pro in the real estate business, was earning $250,000 a year, came to her very first Ninja installation way back yonder in 2013. She left the Ninja installation, started putting some of the systems in place. Her income, her GCI in 2014 went from 250 to 700. Okay, that's a pretty good increase. In 2015, I want you to note what happens. Her business declined. Now, this is a great story. And when you talk to Cora and you ask her why, she said the Ninja system worked. In fact, it worked so well, I got slammed and I didn't have my systems in play, and it paralyzed me and it cost me some business. And I decided to step back, put all my systems in place, added an assistant that may or may not be for you, but she really got herself organized. Now, note what happened. 2016, 17, 18, 19, $1 million plus. 2020, 1.8 in GCI, and I believe the 2021 numbers top 2 million. The point I'm trying to get you to see is when you have a system and you become on purpose, things get better. You know, those numbers may not be your goals, but could you run a more effective business with a system? And the answer is yes. And so Ninja Selling will help you with that. So the system works, TSW. Now, let me give you this slide, and then I'll give you a couple of little tidbits to help you have some practical application in our remaining 30 minutes. 3 success keys. So if you're on the call this morning and your business is not where you would like it to be, there are 3 areas that you need to look at to be able to discover where the challenge is. Okay. And these 3 areas happen to be the outline for our 4-day Ninja installation. Area number 1 is your mindset. Area number 2, your skill set. And area number 3 are your actions. We have some leaders on the call, and you'll be coaching some agents this week. And an agent will be struggling. And I will tell you the answer to the struggle is inside one of these 3. There's nothing else. So in our Ninja installation, let's kind of work backwards on this. We spend day 3 and day 4 of the Ninja installation focused on skill sets. On day 3, the whole day is dedicated to sellers and working with sellers. Even in the crazy market that we're in, how do we need to work more effectively with sellers to demonstrate our value, to protect our fee, to navigate them through the complexities of multiple offers, to make sure that when it comes to price positioning, that we're not getting caught up in this rat race and missing the best opportunity to put the best foot forward. So we spend the whole day on day 3 talking about sellers. There's a pre-listing interview, there's a listing consultation. We practice those things, we lay those things out. And then I talk to you about how do you shine in this market. The COVID has changed some of the rules of how people view houses and how people see you. And so what are some of the things we need to be considering to bring our A game with our sellers? So we talk about sellers on day 3. On day 4, it's all about buyers. Okay, we have a 10-step buyer process that helps buyers find the house that would work for them at a price that the market suggests, all the while not missing out on something else. And it's a 10-step buyer process. We also talk about buying houses in the market we're in. How do we write an offer? Did you know there are 5 points to an offer and only one of them is price? How to use their buyer's agent, put them in the best position to win when they're in a multiple offer situation. All of that's wrapped into day 4 on working with buyers. So sellers and buyers, days 3 and 4, that's skill set. The second day, day 2 of the Ninja installation, it's all about actions. And so we will walk you through the 5 daily habits that we do every day and the 4 weekly habits that we do every week. How do we create a continuous stream of buyers and sellers? What is flow? How does that work? And so when you leave day 2, you'll have some clarity on your database. You'll have some clarity on what your day should look like, and you'll have some clarity on the actual action steps that you need to take. So day 2, actions, day 3 and 4, skill sets. Day 1, most important day, we set the foundation by talking about your mindset. How does the brain work? How does my thinking affect my relationships and my business opportunities? We'll expand what I call your perceptual map. How do you see the world? How do you see yourself? How do you see other people? And so there's a lot of great content in day number 1 that really helps us get that mindset where it needs to be. So day 1, mindset, day 2, actions, day 3 and 4 are skill sets. That right there gives you a very good taste of what we're going to cover in our 4 days together. So again, I'm going to transition now into just a little bit of teaching. But if you have some questions, pop in the chat box. You have a question, I'll pause. We'll interact a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of move through and just give you a snippet of some things that you'll learn in each of these 3 arenas. Now, even if you're unable to attend the 4-day Ninja installation, what we're about to walk through now will be things that you can start putting into practice in your business today. So I want to give you a little teaching and a little synopsis of what you can expect. So when we talk about your mindset, obviously your mindset is a set of beliefs. It's a way of thinking. It helps your mindset, your thoughts create your beliefs drive your actions produce your results. We know that formula. And one of the things that we've discovered in the Ninja world is that at any given time of the day, people have one of 2 mindsets, and it's a choice. The first mindset is they can choose to have a player mindset, or they can choose to have the opposite of that, which is a victim mindset. And in the Ninja installation, I'll talk a little more about these 2, but obviously players are people that are looking to move things forward. They have a positive energy about them. And then victims would be the opposite of that. Sometimes I refer to a victim mindset as Eeyore is their spirit animal, right? It kind of carries them on their shoulder. You've met those folks. How are you doing today? Oh, okay. And like, I've been better. And at that moment, you probably don't ask, well, what's going on? You just move on. But here's what we know is that buyers and sellers prefer to work with players, and really nobody wants to work with a victim. And I will tell you at any given point of the day, you can be either one of these. And there'll be things that'll happen in your life, maybe even today, that will move you to a victim place. That's called life. You go outside in the morning, you start the car, the battery doesn't work, and all of a sudden, blah, 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 right? You can get into a little bit of a victim negative mindset. But what we know in the ninja world is that we don't stay there. Ninjas may visit the victim side, they don't stay there. They have ways to get themselves into the player side. Now, here's why this is important, because wherever your mindset is at the moment is also where your energy will be. See, my energy is sent from a sender to a receiver at a frequency. Okay. This is universal principle. Energy is sent from a sender to a receiver at a frequency. And in the relationship side, it's always generated by what you're thinking about what you're feeling. So if my thinking is not where it needs to be, and my feelings, my emotions are not where they need to be, and I'm trying to do real estate, I might actually be losing more business than I'm gaining. I'm repelling people versus attracting people. Now, I want you to understand, this is not John going to teach you some Pollyannish idea that you're always running around and, oh, life is so great. That's not what we're talking about. But what we're talking about is having an energy. Here's a great way. If somebody were to ask you, so what's going on in the real estate business? Oh, it's so busy right now. Well, I was thinking about buying a house. Oh, man, that's going to be real hard. See, that's a negative energy. That's an energy that people go, yeah, I think I'll go find somebody else. So how we act with people, what we say to people when the game is on the line, it's so crucial that we have this right kind of energy. And we don't call it energy. I don't think you go around and talk to somebody in the office. I don't come up to Autumn and say, well, how's your energy today? But what we tend to do is we get from people what? We get a vibe. And we know that this vibe is important in sales. We know that this vibe is important in trust. And what we know in the Ninja Wisdom world is that your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, I don't know about your mom, but my mom had a different way of saying this. She said, John, birds of a feather flock together. And there's a whole lot of truth to that. And part of what we're wanting to do in the Ninja world is help you create a tribe that really is looking to move forward. It's a growth mindset. It's a player mindset. It's an abundance mindset that has that energy on a regular basis. So we'll talk about mindset and energy. I'll also teach you a little bit about mindset and focus. You guys probably have heard of Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey's written a number of great books. If you've never read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, put that on your book list. It's a classic. Everybody should read it. But he talks about these 3 circles, and you'll get a little bit of this in Ninja. There's this outside circle of concern, inside third circle there of influence, and then the center of circle of control. And one of the things that we know in life is that for most people live their life on the outside of the circle. They're dominated and controlled by the circle of concern, things that concern them, but they have no control over. And that's what they talk about. That's what they focus on. I have a buyer and we're trying to help buyers find a house, and we get all wrapped up in low inventory. You're distracted. Okay. I can't control the low inventory, but what can I control are my thoughts and my actions. And so my job is to help my buyer find a house. Let's focus on how we're going to do that. And what we know, and Robin Sharma says it this way, the enemy of mastery is not mediocrity. The enemy of mastery is distractions. And the addiction to distractions is ruining many potentially awesome lives. And so there's so much today, we call it a world of distraction. Some call them weapons of mass distraction. And I'm not anti-social media, okay, so please understand, but we live in a world where everything is trying to distract us from the very things that are most significant. So in our 4 days together, we're going to focus on the circle of concern. What are the things that I actually can control? Why? Because what I focus on expands. And if I focus on the negative side of things, all I'm going to see is more of that. Okay. And if I focus on my business and helping and serving others, guess what? I'm going to see more of that. So this mindset portion is so important for my thoughts, my energy, my vibe, my focus, and we'll teach you how to control that and how to package that in a way that can help you move forward with a better life and a better business. So we have mindset. Secondly, how about skill set? Let me give you a little snippet here. Interesting survey. People were surveyed as to what is it that causes them to buy things. Another way to look at this is why would somebody hire you to help them in a real estate transaction, whether I'm selling a house or buying a house? And it's interesting that 15% of the people out of the survey, 15% of the people out of the survey always made their decisions based on the lowest price. Now, I probably use a term that may not be the best here. So, and we're recording this, but it's okay. I call these cheap. Okay. All they're ever interested in is the price. So I want to hire you to help me sell my house. Can you do it for less? Can you do it for less? I'm looking to buy a property, and it's always the price. And there's not much you can do with that. And I don't spend a lot of time focusing on it. We talk about them a lot, but it's only 15%. 5% of the people make decisions based on high price. They tend to believe they get what they pay for. They receive what they pay for, right? And then here's the thing I really want you to grasp. 80% of the people make a decision on hiring a realtor, make a decision on buying a house, making a decision on the things that they spend their money on. They make a decision based on value. Now catch what I'm about to do. The value is the relationship between two things. It's the relationship between price and quality. And if you're taking notes, and some of you are, I want you to write a word down, and that word is perceived quality. It's perceived quality. And so one of the things we'll spend a lot of time on the Ninja World is teaching you how to create that perceived quality. And obviously the way in which we do that is we have to understand what people value. Ninja selling is about delivering the goods, delivering value. You should not hire me just because I have a real estate license. Shoot, there's thousands of other people that have a real estate license. But you hire me because of the value that I bring to you. And we'll spend a lot of time talking about how you deliver personal value, how you deliver professional value. How do you discover what people value? How do you discover that just in a normal conversation that has nothing to do with real estate? And so much of what we need to get into our brains is that our success is really based on the quality and quantity of a value that we deliver to people. You want to stand out in this world of thousands of realtors, then understand what your value wedge is. Most consumers, unfortunately, think all realtors are the same. And in a business where, according to NAR, the average person knows 12 real estate professionals, why would somebody use you? Why would somebody refer you? Well, it's based on the value that you bring. And so we will spend part of day one, day two, and then it'll weave into day three and day four on this big concept of how do I create value for sellers, for buyers, or just for people in my center of influence. And that value is not about you chasing after a transaction. Okay, it's about focusing on them and what they perceive to be important. I'll give you an example with sellers. Here's something we'll practice on day three. Here's a value clarification question you can begin to use now. If you have a listing consultation later today, here's a great question. We'll practice this in the Ninja installation. I love the question. It's a value clarification question. Let's say that a seller maybe be pushing you a little bit on your fee because they don't think you're going to have to do much in this market because houses are selling real fast. You won't have to spend any money, hardly any money on marketing. I'm looking for a deal. Well, here's a great question. So do you believe your home? Do you believe your home will sell at and if you will get the hand motions in Ninja, but do you believe your home will sell at a fixed price or at a range of value based on the marketing and negotiating skills of your realtor? Now, if you ask that question to most people, they're going to go, huh, I never thought of that. The biggest lie in real estate amongst a whole bunch of people is that houses sell at a fixed price. But houses don't sell at a fixed price. Houses will sell at a range of value based on the marketing and negotiating skills. Now, watch what I'm about to do. So do you believe your house will sell at a fixed value or at a range of value based on the marketing and negotiating skills of your realtor? My job is to help you sell your house at the top of the range. Can I show you how I do that? And then we practice this. There are 5 points of value. Number one, I'm going to help you enhance your property. We'll talk about all the things that we do to help them. Number two, we're going to help you create a price strategy. We don't want to underprice your house and leave your money on the table. Neither do we want to overprice your house and scare buyers away. We want to develop a pricing strategy that allows you to have the most net in the time frame that works for you. Number three, we're going to give you maximum exposure. This is where all of your company's marketing comes into power. And it's just like it's on steroids, what they get when they hire you and what HBW provides for everybody. So we're going to give them maximum exposure. Number four, we're going to help them negotiate the best offer. The highest offer is not always the best offer. And so part of your job is to be their chief negotiator, always putting them in a best position, never alienating the buyer's agent or the buyer. And then finally, I'm your transaction manager. In real estate right now, finding a house, getting a house under contract, it is a little bit easier, but getting it to closing is not. So what I do is help manage it along the way. And so again, we'll practice this, but these are ways that you can enhance your skill set. So if somebody were to ask you today on the call, why should I hire you? What would your answer be? Because I'm good, because I've been in the business so long. That's all about me. It's all about me, the agent. Shift it to what benefit do I provide to the seller? And these 5 points of value. By the way, we have 5 points of value for buyers. We'll look at it the other side. So these are some things that you'll get on skill set. And if you're really comfortable, here's a great question. You know, Mr. Seller, in this market, your greatest expense is the money you don't make. And so that seller that's looking for the deal or the discount. Now, you can't lead with this question. You're going to offend them. All right. But you set up the values clarification question, the 5 points of value, and then you wrap up with this. And here's my fee, and they're ready to go. So that's mindset, that's skill set. Let me show you real quickly a few things about actions. I'm going to wrap up here in about 10 minutes max and take any questions you may have. I just want to give you a little taste of some actions that we cover on day number 2. Here's the big emphasis in our real estate business. I want you to keep this in your brain is we're focused on having a referral mindset. It's yes, we have people in our center of influence that know us, like us, trust us. They're going to buy a real estate. But what we're really looking to do is how do we leverage and get access to the people that they know, the referrals. It's interesting. Another survey that was done, I find this to be amazing. So they reached out to people and they asked the simple question, did your real estate agent connect with you, contact you after closing? Interesting results. 13,250-ish, 49 households were surveyed. 74% of the respondees said never. Now, I don't necessarily believe it was that high because I do think there were some agents that probably did connect with them, but they didn't connect with them in a frequency pattern that actually stayed at the top of the mind of those sellers and buyers. So they maybe sent them a postcard once a year around a holiday. It wasn't enough to rent space in the brain. 20% said occasionally. And if you remember at the beginning of the presentation, I told you that only 6% of the people walk the path. Here's why. Only 6% of the people in the survey stated that their real estate professional stayed what we call in flow with them. And I always put these numbers up and I put the slide up, and I do this in such a way just so that we can understand this really concept that just look in the mirror, guys, there's no competition. At the end of the day, if we would just get out of our own way and do the things we know we need to do each day, we could have the business that we desire. because the rest of the industry is by and large focused on what we call a transactional mindset. And see, the transactional mindset is this. This person bought their house. They're good to go for 7 to 9 years. I'm off to my next deal. Where's my next deal? Where's my next deal? Now, here's something if you want to write it down, or at least remember it. Now, listen to me. Your next transaction is found in your current transaction. So much of what we want to teach you in Ninja is that when I interact with an individual and somebody wants to buy or sell a house with me, then my next transaction is right there in front of me. I want to deliver such great service to them that they can't help but share who I am with other people. Don't chase the deals. The deals are in front of you. The opportunities are in front of you. What we know is that there's all of these, what we call disruptors. You probably have seen some of these. I'm not here to badmouth any of them. They have a place in the market, okay? So this isn't a John bashing Zillow or OfferPad or Red. I'm not doing that. But so many people look at these and we get distracted by them. And it really does set us off our path. We know from surveys that the average homeowner stays in a house about 8 years. Now, let me kind of teach you how this works. Most of what's happening in this space, if you look at this piece of the pie and you divide each piece into a year, so there'd be 8 years in this pie. Almost all of these, quote, disruptors, all they're focused and fighting for is the last piece of the pie. In fact, those are the leads that people are buying. They're buying leads for the last piece of the pie. And again, I'm not anti this at all. Please don't misunderstand me. But what I'm telling you is that by and large, the industry mindset for most people is why don't we just hop into this last piece of the pie and it's dog eat dog. We call it the industry mosh pit. And ninjas just don't play in this mosh pit. We just don't do that. We have what's called a referral mindset. Now, notice this. These clients know at least 4 people who will be moving this year. How do I access and earn these referrals? And we know from a Harris Interactive study that they know at least 4 people. Okay. They know at least 4 people that are going to move. Now, notice the pie now. Same pie, same picture, same last piece. But there's a huge difference in the ninja world. Instead of me fighting for the last piece of the pie, I'm going to be what we call in flow with you. So in year 1, it's the beginning of the relationship. I have a referral mindset, not a transaction mindset. In year 1, there's 4 opportunities. Guess what? Year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, 6, 7. And in year 8, there's not 4 opportunities. There are now 6. Because you are going to possibly sell and buy. The point that we try to grasp and understand is that there's 34 potential transactions in one individual's 8-year cycle. Now, I'm not telling you you're going to get all 34, but how many would you need? How many do I not receive because I don't have a system that continuously add value to people? And so much of what we're trying to focus on is how do we stay in front of these people? Now, understand this. If I follow the system, by the time I get to the 8th year, do you think you will already know if they're selling? Yes. So there's no mosh pit. Every year I've done a real estate review for you and I ask you the question, what are your long-term plans for the house? So I know before you ever get there what we're planning to do. And it's just a much better strategy. And frankly, it's actually pretty fun. So we're going to know their plans well in advance. Okay. We'll know their plans well in advance. What is our ninja philosophy? Focus on the people that know you. Let's build relationships. How do we do that? We do it through what we call flow. Flow is a word that simply means frequency of interaction. Face-to-face, by phone, by text, by email, by Facebook, by Instagram, social media. It's a multitude of ways, but it's every day we sit down and we identify a number of people that we want to be intentionally on purpose in flow with and add value. Now, we'll walk through this in day 2. And part of what we'll get a chance to do is show you how to set that day up so you can on purpose add value to 5 to 10 people every day. And listen, when you do that every day, you build some significant momentum. Flow is the oxygen of your business. Flow fixes everything. If you're going to build a great real estate business, there needs to be some intentionality in your flow system. As we all know, there are two parts to the real estate business. Number one, there's doing it. That's all the stuff we do to show houses, to write offers, all of the things that we do to bring the deal to the closing table. But the big part of the business is generating. So there's working on the business, which is generating the business, and there's working in the business, which is doing it. And if we don't discipline ourselves to learn how to be consistent in working on our business, then we will be limited in the business we have to work in. So Ninja's going to teach you some real simple things. We call them the Ninja 9. They're 5 daily habits, 4 weekly habits. We'll teach you those, and you'll leave day 2 with a crystal clear plan on what does my day need to look like. And I promise you, every activity that we show you, you can do. It won't be something hard that's like you got to be some superhuman to accomplish. It's stuff that you can do, and we believe there's business all around you. We just need to get focused on seeing it. Well, I'll end you with start wrapping up here with Aristotle. We become what we do repeatedly. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, it's a habit. And so much of what we want to do is help you focus on productive habits. If you focus on productive activities, guess what? Production will take care of itself. And we have discovered in the Ninja world, when you start implementing the Ninja 9, it's about 45 to 90 days to begin seeing fruit from that labor. So one of the commitments I ask when you attend an Ninja installation, will you work it for 90 days? If you'll work it for 90 days, you'll see that the system actually works for you. So I am at 10:52, and I appreciate you letting me kind of just drone on for a little bit. I love all of you that have your cameras on. You've encouraged me over the last 45, 50 minutes with your smiles and your head shaking. I want to take a couple minutes, David, if anybody has a question or anything like that, that I might can answer about content. Here's my information again, but I believe we are set for March the 7th through the 10th for our Ninja installation. And I'm excited to be back in the Raleigh area, short drive from Charleston. Really excited to be with you all, get to know you, get to hear your story, and hopefully have an opportunity for 4 days to be your partner in helping you move from the life you think you have to live to the life that you dream about living. So any questions? What questions do you have? Anything that I can be of any help to you? I'm more than happy to do so right now, or if you want to reach out later, there's my contact information.
Okay, folks, any questions for John on the program?
The registration process, I see that will be unfolded. That's coming up soon. We've done the preview, and I believe the registration will be opened up. David and Tina have that, and you guys will get some information on that. And there's not a virtual class for the 4-day Ninja installation, Marta. There are some other virtual type things available via ninjaselling.com. But the 4-day class is just, we're so interactive, and it just makes sense to be together. Okay.
Yeah, on the registration, an email will go out later today that will have a link for you to start to register. So keep your eyes open for that.
Good. Anything else, guys? I'm happy. I'm looking. Thank you, guys. I appreciate intro. Thank you. All these wonderful names. Very excited to participate. Marika, look forward to seeing you as well.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, John, this was terrific. Thank you. So many great, I love the mindset stuff. So for some of our agents who weren't able to participate on this call for whatever reason, or if we want to really highlight some of what you talked about today, will this be shareable? I know. It's
yes, you. When we wrap all of this up, Robert, who's our kind of coordinator of all these things at Ninja Selling, will edit the front part, the first 10 minutes where he and I were just jabbering and so forth, and we'll send out a link, and then Tina, and they'll be able to send that out to everybody. So yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you don't have that within a few days, let me know and we'll go there. 4 full days and lunch at the association. I see Yes, it's at the association. The day 1, day 2, day 3 are full days. The last day, we generally wrap up the teaching around 3. And then we have a commencement time. We have a celebration time where you get a certificate and a nice lapel pin. So we recognize all of our grads, but generally the last day, we probably have everything tied up by 4, but the other days will go for full day.
So John, thank you for doing this for us. And I'm familiar with Ninja, but for agents that are new to HPW or maybe even new to North Carolina and new to HPW, Ninja, they can start this, right? Like even if they just started day 1 of their business today, this is something for them.
Absolutely. In fact, and thank you for bringing that up, because obviously I missed hitting on that. Ninja is not just for our seasoned vets that are operating at a high level. It certainly is a great benefit to them. It's for everybody. One of my favorite stories, we had a person come, it was their first event. They just had received their license the week before. We get to day 3 where we're practicing the Ninja pre-listing interview. And they said, you know what? I actually have somebody that was interested in selling a house. And I'm just going to read the dadgum questions. I'm just going to read the questions. And so they called the person and all they did was read the questions. And the lady said, so that was absolutely amazing. How long have you been in real estate? And he says, well, frankly, I just got my license and I'm sitting in a class. And she said, you would never know it. So it works. Those of you that may be new to the Raleigh area and you don't have a large database at all, on day 2, we talk about how do I grow my database? I'm going to actually teach you how to grow your database without having to go chase business. Because we think we have to kind of walk around with a billboard going realtor for hire. It's so much easier to do that. If you know 1, you know 50. If you know 1, you know 50. 50 people. So it's all about the access to those referrals. So great question. Sorry, I kept going, but yes, it's for everybody. For everybody. Anything else, guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen? Okay. Well, David, if I can do anything between now and then, we'll be in touch certainly. Just let me know, guys. If y'all have questions, there's my cell number, my email address. Happy to help you in any way I can. Otherwise, I look forward to coming up in March.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, John. And thank each of you for joining us today. I'll look forward to seeing you all in our Ninja course in early March.
Sounds good. All right. Take care, everybody. Happy birthday, Victoria.
Great day, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for everything.